Okay, hi everybody. Hi Shubham. It's so
Hi,
nice of you to join us. Hi Krishna.
thanks.
Hi Hiranmay. So good to see you all. So, Shubham, I would want
Yes.
you to introduce us to the topic as you are
Okay.
the expert here today. Please go ahead.
Okay. Okay. So basically, when I talk about FOMO is everyone knows fear of missing out, but a lot of people have just heard it because of, a lot of articles going on social media. A lot of so-called influencers keep saying it. But a lot of people doesn't know what exactly fear of missing out means. So that's what I'm going to tell you about. Even I'm not an expert about FOMO, but yeah, I can clear it in a better way because I know what exactly, how exactly it enters in your life and how you should deal with it.
Okay, that's great. That would be very nice to know since um, pandemic is the king of FOMO. So, how would you define it as per your experience?
Okay, so when we say fear of missing out, a lot of people think it's just about doing things which others are doing, and we, assume that the other person is doing something and they are happy about it. Okay, that is one definition which everyone thinks it is. Okay, that because that person is saying doing something, that person is having fun, that person has a very nice car, that person is traveling abroad, or like anything which you assume that is good for the other person, it might be good for you as well. Okay, you feel that if I'll be in that position, I'll be very, I might have some, I might feel very good, I might feel successful or something like that. Okay, in short, say for example, the very recent example, if I'll tell you, 2 years back when pandemic didn't start. So very few people, very few, I'll say that, say, for example, if there are 100 people who earns in the country, there were 99 people who would never invest in stock markets, right?
Right.
Pandemic entered. Suddenly, all the, brokerages saw a very huge, uh, a huge growth in their market. Why? Because a lot of people thought that, oh, stock market is a very good thing because it suddenly crashed in March 2020. The moment it started picking up in May, it has never come down after that. Okay, so a lot of people who entered into the stock market since pandemic are teenagers.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay, a lot of it's a proof. You can go and check Zero, the Angel Broking, or any site. The maximum number of demat accounts which has opened is between the age of 20 to 30.
Hmm.
Okay, so why did that happen? Because the moment pandemic started, there were a lot of Instagram posts which started rolling out saying that if you would have invested 10,000 rupees in this stock 10 years back, you would have had 10 lakh of rupees, 15 lakh of rupees, 20 lakh of rupees, kind of that. So people think that, that is something where I can put my money and I can, become a rich person without doing anything. So people get into that. That's what exactly stock market works. It attracts immediately, but it kills you within because you cannot bear a loss. Okay. Till the time it's going up, up, up. If you have invested, say, for example, 1,000 rupees and it's going up, up, up for 1 month, you'll feel very happy. The moment it falls 5% down, you'll suddenly realize that, oh, no, I cannot handle that much losses.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. A lot of teenagers entered. Forget about stock market. Talk about crypto markets. Okay. Everyone is investing into crypto markets, and that is one of the biggest FOMO which is going around. Why? Because no one understands how crypto market works. Okay. Even the experts doesn't understand because there's no backing. Okay. For Reliance, you can still say that that's a company that is working. You have some proof. You can still play a bet on that this company will grow in future. How
Mm-hmm.
would you gauge Bitcoin?
Mm-hmm.
How would you gauge Bitcoin that it's going to go up in this? Even the history says that it went from $10,000 to $50,000, but it again came back to $20,000.
Right.
So this is what FOMO is all about. You just keep doing things which is in the trend, but you don't know what exactly you're going to get from that. If you keep, bringing back everything to money, that if you have a lot of money and you'll be happy, that's, I guess, one of the major part which every person needs to know. And it's not about only teenagers, it's about every age group.
Okay, but you would rather say that teenagers are the most age group that is affected with this, right?
Uh, yeah, because the reason why it happens, because the age which is 18 to 25, that's a very experimental age. Everyone wants to try everything.
Right.
Okay. Everyone wants to try, which is a good thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to, dirty your hands and everything, but do it in a calculated way,
Mhm.
because not everyone can afford, trying to do everything. We always think that, okay, you might drop out from college, you might get successful, you might not get successful. Okay, you might start a YouTube channel. It will grow, it will not grow. It's up to you. Some people would have gained a lot of followers within a year. You will be struggling for 5 years and you would still not be able to achieve that. Okay. So that's why teenagers gets affected a lot, because they just want to fit in the society and they just want to be, what you can say, the person everyone, everyone praises. Like, I
Okay.
want to be like that. I want to be like that.
Mhm.
So, and nowadays I've seen this firsthand, that forget about film and media industry. The YouTube has become much more popular than film and media industry. Okay,
Right.
everyone, the person who would have had dream of becoming an actor or actress, so they would rather go and start making reels instead of, trying their luck in the film industry.
Right.
That's where teenagers gets most affected. And it's not only about FOMO, it's about everything. And FOMO affects each and everything.
Okay. So, have you ever had this experience in your life?
Yes, my entire
Would-
college life was that only.
Okay. So, how would you describe that you got out of it or you understood this concept of FOMO?
So basically, what I think is that, and most of the people would agree to that, correct me if I'm wrong. A lot of people who come from small cities, and when they enter into metro cities or somewhere,
Mhm.
they feel a lot of FOMO. Why? Because they think that they are not capable enough to fit into that particular group of people. Okay, say for example, if you get, mostly happens in private universities. Government universities are still okay, because you'll find every kind of student, and
Mhm.
most of them are from the low category or small cities. Private universities works in a very different way. Okay, when we talk about private universities, I'm not saying private universities are bad. Okay, I'm just saying that the culture which develops there, because if you'll meet 100 people there, those 100 people will be very different.
Right.
Okay, you see a huge diversity in private universities, and that's where a small cities get FOMO kicks in, because a particular group of their his or her friend would be going to, parties, would be keep doing, exploring the city, going, traveling a lot of places, and they'll feel that if they don't do that, they will never be able to, be a part of that community, and they'll not be able to grow. They'll not be able to grow like them. They'll not be able to become the cool kid, you can say. So that's where even I was feeling like that when I entered my university. So I was feeling like that this is a very different kind of environment for me, and I have to blend in. I have to do the things which they are doing. But then slowly I realized, within 6 months only, I realized that that is not going to get me far in the long run. Okay, that is not going to help me in the long run. That is something which is only for 3 4 years. Okay, I might enjoy it, but I'll look back after 4 years, I'll regret those 4 years. And I'll think that maybe I would have done this, then I would not be, in a position where I would be thinking that I maybe now I should go for my master's. Maybe I should take up any other program which will help me get a relevant job. So everyone feels this only, that whenever they graduate or post after post graduation, they always look for this relevant job kind of thing. So and you'll never get a relevant job, to be honest. Okay, any job you get into, it will never look relevant to you until unless you feel that dissatisfied. Okay, so that's what I understood within 6 months of my life, and then I got out of it, and I was doing things which are going to help me in the long run.
Okay, I must say that it was a very brave decision that you took, not being, uh, as getting affected as it should, that you don't have that cool tag. You are not bloody bothered about what people are doing, or even how you would, go far into this, or how would you make your life happen. That's a very brave decision that you took. But then, what about the quote? Or it's I don't think it's a quote. I think it's a mere dialogue that it's just been famous for last 3 to 4 years, that क्लासेस बंक हो जाएंगे बट उसकी जो पीछे की मस्ती है दैट इज व्हाट यू विल रिमेंबर आफ्टर अ पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम. It's not the classes that you took, it's not what achievements you have taken. I mean, achievements, they feel like kind of, you put on your walls and then you forget about it. But a person who might just be self obsessed would be talking about that entire
Hmm.
life. But बाकी आधी पॉपुलेशन तो इसमें चले जाते हैं कि यार ठीक है अचीव कर लिया, फाइन, जस्ट फॉरगेट अबाउट इट, नाउ आई वांट टू हैव फन. So do you
Hmm.
think this fun and FOMO goes together or what?
Okay, so when you say that classes bunk ho jayengi and uski mastiyan yaad आएंगी, so I'm not saying that don't have fun, but change your definition of fun.
Hmm. Okay.
Okay, so when people say that I want to have fun in my college life, and because a lot of people think that whenever, and most of the students who study in hostel or something, or study far from their hometown, they always think that we're gonna go 3 years full masti and everything. But what happens is that, okay, you had all your fun and everything, you did everything. What happens after 3 years? You had, say, for example, 20 of your friends which with whom you were having fun and everything. What happened after 3 years? Where are those 20 friends?
Right.
Okay, so then what happens is then you start regretting those people, that maybe I would have invested in 3 people instead of 30 people. I'm not saying those people are bad, I'm just saying that the decisions you all took as a group, is it affecting you in the long run? Okay,
Mm.
you had your fun and everything, but then when it comes to responsibilities and everything, you should also know about that, right? And
Right.
not every kid has belongs to a very rich family. Not
Mm.
every kid has a family business background, where if they don't achieve a very good marks or anything, they'll end up in their family business. Even if they end up in their family business, there's a chance they might not be able to run it properly. Okay. So one thing which I've learned during my colleges is people's management, understanding which people are good for you, which people is not good for you. I'm not saying that do not talk with people who don't study or something. You need every kind of people in your life. The people who are more, outspoken, or someone, uh, what do you say, जो लोग दूसरों के साथ easily blend in हो जाते हैं, you
Mm.
should spend time with them, because उनके साथ you learn how to deal with people, how to deal with different categories of people. Okay,
Right.
they teach you, they bring out the shyness, they curb that shyness in you, and you are able to speak to anyone about anything.
Right.
Okay, I belong to a small city called Bhilai. Okay, in my schooling life, I never had a chance to like this kind of thing where I used to go on stage and speak. I was very shy about that. Even when I joined my college, the first year was so struggling for me. But then slowly it came into me because I knew that I had to do it. Not today, maybe tomorrow, but someday I have to do it. Now, one thing. So when we talk about fun and everything, so uh, if you say that constantly clubbing is a fun part, I don't know. Maybe for some people, maybe for some people not. But think about it now. Are you doing it because you like it, or are you doing it because a lot of friends, your other friends are doing it? So you have to
Mm.
think that inside yourself, whether you like going to that place or not. What happens when you come back from that place? Do you regret going to that place? Okay.
Right.
And also at the same time, you have to measure that, okay, if I'm going on a weekend to a club or something, have I achieved my last week's target? Okay, be it study, be it work or anything. Okay, because when you put your pleasure over your self growth, then your progress graph will never grow. It will either be stagnant or it will start regressing. So you have to first define what is the meaning of fun.
Mhm.
Then only you'll be able to understand which is good for you, what is bad for you.
Okay. Okay, that's an interesting thing. So when we talk about defining fun, now, of course, you mentioned the fact that people do come from various backgrounds and then they just try to blend in, which is, I know it gets difficult now. I also had this experience ki college mein, I was engaging with every person that I could meet. But after a point of time, I did start regretting those things, or I did start, questioning that if I am spending my time with such a person, or if I am spending my time doing such a thing, is it helping me, or do I even feel happy after that? Well, I kind of felt happy in the moment, but when I came home, you know the next day when you wake up, you again have that inside you that आज भी कुछ तो नया करते हैं यार, आज भी कुछ तो cool करते हैं. Bec- because of that, the things that went regular in my life, I kind of maybe missed out on classes, or I also missed out on something that might have been important in college, which I did not even have any idea of because I was not bothered at all. But now, sitting in lockdown and pandemic, I do understand that maybe sometimes it was better that I could have said no. So, FOMO starts from a place where you also are not capable of saying no. Just कुछ हो जाता है and then you're like कि अरे इसने भी बोला उसने भी बोला और मैं चला गया. And but then when you reach that place जहाँ जाना था, there you sit and you think कि यार मेरे को नहीं आना था. I just did not want to do this, but why am I still doing it? So do you feel कि FOMO जब होता है, so there is this psychological pressure that you kind of go through. Like we can say it is kind of a peer pressure because तुमको नहीं जाना है, but you end up doing those things anyway. And then you come back home and then you start crying कि यार इससे अच्छा तो कुछ कर लेता, कुछ और कर लेता, या फिर नहीं बोल देता सीधा. So why do you think it is tough for someone to say no to the fun या फिर the peer pressure that we go through?
So it's because we don't want to hurt someone else's feeling. Okay, first thing, because being in this age, what happens is we always want to be. See, it's not about age. Also, it's about being a human being. The basic want of human being is to be recognized.
Mhm.
Okay, the basic want of human being is to connect with everyone. Okay, so whenever someone tells you, but there's a group of people who are constantly pressuring you or who are asking you that चल यहाँ पे चलते चल वहाँ पे चलते, you are bound to say yes. Okay,
Right.
until and unless you have that much, that much understanding between your entire group that if you say no, they'll understand that you might have something else important. Okay, so because a lot of time what happens is when you say no to that particular group of people, they'll make fun of you, or either they'll say that what exactly are you gonna do? You're gonna sit in the hostel only. You might, do something. So it's better. Let's go. So for that moment, you might also think, हाँ वैसे भी मैं क्या करूँगी रूम पे बैठ के, ठीक है अकेले रह के वैसे बोर होगा, तो you go with that. So that's where we have to learn that when to say no, and this habit of not able to say no, it's going to start affecting you when you start working. Because say for example, if you go into a company, you join as a new associate or something, and now your manager or your teammates understood that you always say yes to everything. Okay, they'll start bombarding you with all the tasks even when they know that you are not going to be able to finish that within that particular time period. But being a newbie or being a person who just want to prove herself or himself, you'll end up saying yes, and at a later stage, after a week, after 15 days, you'll understand that no, I'm not able to do this. Now I have a pressure to perform in a very better way. Okay, a lot of time this has happened to me as well. Even I have a problem of saying not no इंसान है करके पहले हाँ बोलता है फिर बाद में पोस्टपोन करने बोलता है. So these things you have to understand initially. Okay, and it should be understood by the other person as well. So that's why that's why I always say na ki I understood after 6 months in the college that I need to change the group of people, the circle which I am in. Because my school circle was like that also. Okay, so I was a wasted kid, but then after 10th, I realized no, I have to be at a certain place. Even if I'm not able to go to every places my friends are visiting, I'm still content and happy with where I am. Hope that answers.